I know it's been a long time, and it has. And you might want to skip this if you haven't played uh, the side quest for the uh, the compound in Fallout 4. So if you haven't played to the Covenant or the compound, I'd recommend skipping this because the background footage contains spoilers for that. So I just be aware of that. Anyway, this is about the Gamebryo or creation engine for Bethesda games, which is becoming recently more and more unusable, I'd say, or aging, showing its age more. It's been around since the 90s. I think 97 was when they released Morrowind, which was Elder Scrolls 3. And that game was built on the Gamebryo engine, which was groundbreaking for its time. It had a Radiant quests and AI, so your Preston Garveys that gave you freaking quests to go everywhere. This settlement this settlement that. That was kind of the idea that it was built off of fast, effective map making and easy Radiant quest and Radiant AI making, just to make an immersive game world easier to construct in a short amount of time. That Gamebryo engine wasn't really tweaked when they moved on to going into Fallout 3 and Oblivion. But once they reached Skyrim, they needed better graphical fidelity and quality, so they upgraded it to the creation engine, which is what we know today. And they just upgraded graphical processing and optimization, which was also, I mean, decent for the time. It wasn't that great. Skyrim does have a lot of issues, mainly with bugs. That's the bugs do have to do with the engine and its age, but at that point it was just kind of, it's a Bethesda game, it's a giant world, you can't fix everything. That was kind of the excuse. And we went on to Fallout 4, which was not as good as Fallout 3 or Vegas, but and was on the creation engine and looked decent but muddy. And as they moved on to 76, they improved the lighting, which made textures look a lot better. And they just said, 16 times the quality, oh boy. They just really worked on the textures a bit, but by then the creation engine was really showing its age. At that point it'd be like 20 years old, and by the time Starfield comes out it'll be like 25 years old, and they said that they're going to use the creation engine for that game as well, which is insane. But the 76 had a lot of issues, especially with the optimization. I have friends with GTX 1080s, and they can't even run the game at medium settings, let alone high or ultra, because it's just poorly optimized. The draw distances are bad. It can't work from a far distance. Can't have too many things running at the same time. AI is insane. With ghouls, it'll just T-pose at you, trying to strut their dominance, but not really working out exactly as planned. The creation engine is just really flawed. I'd imagine it like a car. Like, imagine if you got a car in the 90s and you really liked the way it ran, and you went to several vacations and you had lots of fond memories with it, and at some point you redo the paint, you redo some of the wheels, the axles, but you still like the engine and the dash, you like how it's made, so you want to keep it that way. And as time goes on, even as the parts itself that you like degrade, you're still stuck with the poorly functioning parts, and you're still trying to get those to work. And that's basically what they've been doing to try to avoid revamping the engine. They've just put a new coat of paint on, slapped on some new tires, wheels, put in new like air conditioning and stuff, and it's worked well for them so far. They've made a lot of money off the various games that have used the one engine that they've had since the 90s, but it's really starting to come crashing down. And especially Starfield, something in space, putting that in the creation engine, that's not going to work. They're going to need to fix it. Especially now, that car is just breaking down. Engines falling down around them, and they're trying to hold it together with duct tape. It's not working too well. Especially with Fallout 4 in 76, you started to see a lot of issues with that. Probably hear some background noise.
And I'll just
So
take this.
basically, what Bethesda should do, I think, now is just invest the money to revamp the engine, especially after the disaster that was 76. Not including just the bugs and glitches, but how bad they've
What do we
imprinted on their
have?
fan base,
Dealing with depression.
especially that of the traditional
12
Fallout
stages of
games.
grief.
You give them a multiplayer game with
Self-help
tons of
books.
microtransactions
Quite
and
the
pay to
library
win,
here.
and soon-to-be loot boxes as well. In fact, data miners have found those in the files. Lunch boxes that are meant to be loot box stand-ins, pretty much, without using the name, because that would probably get them in lots of trouble. And just the issues with, I think, what was it, the Fallout, the Nuka Dark, that scam, and the bag. They just, and the coat too. How much of a scam that was. Freaking looked like a tarp. Yeah, they're in lots of heat, and if they're gonna fix this, if they're gonna get it done right, they're going to make Starfield on a new engine, or revamp the creation engine, or whatever they need to do, because it's falling apart faster than I think they realize. I just hope they do that soon, because I don't want to play
Appreciate
Elder
that.
Scrolls 6. What is it? Redfall is what they're predicting it to be. I don't want to play that and it end
Can I
up
ask
being
you
like
some questions?
freaking royal guards trying to T-pose you away, orcs like glitching through the ground, god rays coming out of nowhere.
I have to go.
That would be not great. So anyway, hope Bethesda takes this in mind, even though there's zero chance that they'll see this.
Well, here we are again. It's always such a pleasure. Remember when you tried to kill me twice? Oh, how we laughed and laughed. Except I wasn't laughing. Under the circumstances, I've been shockingly nice. You want your freedom.